welcome to another episode of A Shot with Ellie. Here with us today we have Ahmad Husseini. I'm not saying it right, and he's gonna say his name later on. But as you guys all know, when we first begin, we take a shot. So a little backstory: we're taking a different type of tequila today. My guest here, he is Muslim.
Yes, ma'am.
And so therefore, because of his religion, they don't drink any alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he actually brought a very cool tequila that it's called Ritual Zero Proof Tequila Alternative. So we're gonna try this out for the very first time. I've never had a tequila that has no alcohol. So let's cheers because you're here with us. So thank you for being here and thank you for bringing this tequila.
Definitely. Good to be here.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Ooh, that's wrong.
That's not strong. It just tastes like, I don't know what it tastes like. It gives you like this very cinnamony-ish flavor afterwards.
It does have aftertaste.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a strange aftertaste. I'm used to the burning sensation of tequila, but that, I think it just burns because of the cinnamon. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to being a guest.
Definitely. Pleasure.
Can you tell me, how do you say your name?
Ahmad Husseini.
Backstory between him and I, we met when we were in college. He actually graduated last semester,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he wasn't able to walk the stage because of COVID.
Yeah.
So he'll be walking the stage. We received an email, right, from campus that June 11th. June 11th, we'll be able to walk the stage. So I'm happy for that. However, it's gonna be like nobody there, right? Like you can't invite family or friends or anything. Everything will be virtually.
We gotta work with anything we have, so.
We met in school and we just kind of vibed and got along very well since we met, right?
Yeah.
During classes, he always kept bringing up these restaurants, right? And like advertising it to the whole class. I don't know if it was his way of trying to get an A with the professors. But the two classes we had, he was always talking about the restaurants, and I'm at work, and this guy's always working at the restaurants. And so I was kind of intrigued by that, you know, like what the restaurants were about, and the professor started asking about that. And then you're always telling us like, well, come, I'll give you a meal. I think it was your way of trying to get an easy A.
Just to be on the good side of a professor.
Yeah, so he was trying to cheat his way through. I don't think it worked, but I mean, did any of the professors ever go to the restaurant after the semester, after the course was over?
No.
Oh,
But I still tried.
What can you tell us about your upbringing? I know that you came to the United States when you were a little bit older in your childhood.
Yeah, no, I was 13, I believe. I was 13 when I moved here.
Okay.
But my dad was here since 2000, and then we moved here 2009. But from there on, I mean, none of us spoke any English, so everything was kind of hard going to school, getting along with people because of the language differences. But the classes we were taking with special schools and stuff, most of the students were on the same boat as I was. You know, they were all trying to learn English, and that helped me a lot, get through a lot of stuff. And because of that, I met and made a lot of cool friends that I'm still friends with till date.
You were in Afghan or India?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. So he's mixed. What nationality and what nationality is dad, just so we know?
Yeah, definitely. My dad's from Afghanistan and my mom's from Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that your dad came to the United States first?
Yeah, he was here in 2000 to work, to find a job basically, but he didn't speak any English as well, so he started as a dishwasher. That was his first job.
When he first arrived?
When he first moved here, yes.
Okay. Why did you guys want to leave your country?
For education purposes, my dad was here and he was like, everything's great here. The schools are better. He saw the lifestyle and he liked it, so he wanted us to move here and see, change, make something out of ourselves.
How was your growing up over there and your growing up over here? When you were growing up over there, what are like some of your best memories?
Over there, nobody really has a lot of responsibilities, especially for me because I was very young. So it's not like I had to wake up and go to work or anything. So it was only school, and then after you're with your family, cousins, brothers, all of that. You just have a good time, and that was about it.
So what was the most difficult cultural shock that you had when you first came?
When first year, well, the first thing was the language, for sure, definitely. And then after that, just seeing how everything is around here. Everybody's so busy and caught up, with work, with studies. Everybody has something they're working towards, which I kind of enjoy because I'm a goal-oriented person. So I like that when there are things you're working for, and I think that's amazing.
When you came here, you started school here,
Yeah.
right? What grade did you start school here?
When we moved here, I was in 8th grade, but almost towards the end because I only had, I think, 40 days left. So I was in 8th grade for 40 days. After that, we started high school. But, well, I had to commute a little further because of the school. English was very bad, so they had to send us to a different school where the English levels were very low. We went there, 9th grade, and so from there on, we moved to Anaheim. After that, we opened our first restaurant. My dad and my brother did, my older brother, back in, I believe it was 2011. From there, I went to high school in Anaheim for about 6 months, but we decided to move back to, I can say the place name, right? We decided to go back to Irvine, and so that's where I went to high school, Irvine High School after that, and graduated from there.
So, your English is near perfect. I would never guess that you arrived here when you were 13. Your English is like perfect. How did you manage to perfect that?
In school, I try to make friends with people that I would be forced to speak English with. I try not to make friends with, my own people who be, more inclined to use my language with. So I made friends with all other people who were in the same boat as I was and who were also learning English. So that helped me a lot. So I try to hang out with people that spoke English, and I think that helped me a lot.
Okay. So you mentioned that your family owns restaurants, that they opened up their first restaurant in 2011?
11. It was in Anaheim, but it was with partners, and the rest of the family, my brother, my sister, and myself, we weren't right at the age to work, so it was only my dad, his partners, and my older brother working, and unfortunately that didn't work out, so we moved back to Irvine, and from there, they were working at other restaurants, and once I graduated high school, I tried to help them out, and then we were all working in different restaurants trying to learn how things work, and from there we opened our technically second restaurant in 2016, which we still have. It's called Mint Restaurant in Laguna Hills. That's the one I run at the moment. My older brother runs our third restaurant in Fullerton called Saab restaurant.
Mint Restaurant in Irvine?
Laguna Hills.
Laguna Hills.
Yes, ma'am.
So guys, Mint in Laguna Hills and
Saab in Fullerton. That's where the virgin tequila is from.
Interesting bottle, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So they opened up the restaurants, and was that after high school? Was that the first thing you did? After you graduated high school, did you go into college? Let me rephrase that. So a lot of the guests that have come here,
Mm-hmm.
you're the first person that is not a Latino.
Yes.
So with that being said, in our culture, what I've talked about in the past is that a lot of our parents don't push us to pursue further education. How is that in your culture, in your family, your personal experience? Is that something that your family and parents pushed you to do?
Oh yeah, definitely. My parents never went to school, and my brother went to school, but I'm the first one to graduate from a college, who has a bachelor degree. So they've always been, supportive of me going to school and always pushed me. And they actually want me to pursue my MBA right now. But school is always a priority in my family. Everything else comes second. The work, all of that. Everything is second. After high school, I started working at a McDonald's. That's my first job. I was there for almost 2 years.
At McDonald's. What were you
Yeah.
doing at McDonald's?
Working drive-through, taking orders, handling the cash. That's what I was doing at McDonald's. First job, so I got to learn a lot from there. Work ethic, and after that, we worked with who's one of our partners at the moment. We worked with him, me and my dad, in Newport Beach. That restaurant was called Tamarind of London.
Is the restaurant still there?
It's unfortunately not there. The lease was over, and then the chef just decided to pursue other restaurants career. So, but the chef is our partner at Saab. He's there, very well known. His name's Imran Ali Muki. You can search him up actually.
You're gonna have to text me these names later so I can put them up on here. So people who know who we're talking about, because
Yeah,
I personally am not gonna try to mention these names because I will butcher them, and that's not even cool. And just how I feel like I butchered your name earlier, and I do apologize about that. When you finished high school, can you tell us a little bit about that? Right after high school, did you, while in high school, did you apply for colleges, or was it, after high school, did you take a break and then decided to go back and pursue your further education, or how was that? Or were your parents were like, don't take a break, just keep going?
Honestly, my parents did want me to go straight to college after high school, but I did take a little break, 2 semesters only, which is almost a year.
Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
year.
So I did take a break. I wanted to work, because I wanted to get in the field, put my hands in something, get it involved in different things. But I always knew that I was going to go back to college, and I did, and I'm happy I did, and I'm definitely going to pursue my MBA.
Did your parents, after that whole year that you were off of school,
Mhm.
were they pushing you constantly, like, hey, what's going on with school? Or was that just something more kind of like your own self-drive that made you decide to go back to school?
It was definitely part of it. So my parents, like I said, they've always pushed me to do better, especially in school. So they would ask me multiple times, like what's going on with school, and I just told them that I'm just taking a little break, but don't worry, I'm definitely gonna go back, and they understood.
So you went to school, did you apply for Fullerton and that's where you were accepted, or did you go to a junior college, which was kind of like my route? When I decided to take school, pursue school, full time, I actually went the junior college route, and then I transferred to Fullerton. How was that?
I did go to community college for 2 years. I was at Irvine Valley College. So from there, I transferred to Cal State Fullerton. Yeah.
And why business and not any other degree?
Because I'm not good at math. It was supposed to be engineering, but after taking a couple of classes in math, I was like, no, not a thing. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. At least you're honest. I know I'm not good at math, but thank goodness for those Excel sheets because they do everything for you as long as you know how to enter that formula.
Definitely.
But at least you're honest. You knew that math was in your forte, and you decided to pursue something else that you knew you were, more stronger on. If you can describe yourself with 3 words, what would they be?
Motivated, driven, and eager to learn.
What motivates you?
My motivation comes from within me. I always want to do better as a person. So always try to improve myself from what I was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very inspirational, actually. I don't think I've had any of my guests say that.
What do you usually get from your guests?
Just, what motivates most of my guests are parents or their kids. With that being said, what do you feel success? I ask this to every guest. Success means something else, something different to everybody.
Definitely.
So to you, what is the definition of success? What will make you happy and you say, okay, I'm successful?
Well, like you said, to everybody, success means different things. For me, it means freedom. If I have freedom, if I don't have to wake up early in the morning to go to work or to school or anything like that, success.
So basically, you'll have the leverage to do as much as you can and as whenever you want.
Just freedom of everything.
Now that you mentioned earlier that you work at a restaurant and you help your family manage all three, you run around. What does a normal day look like in your shoes? Kind of walk us through a normal day.
Yeah. So I wake up. I try to spend a little bit of time with the family because we have a little nephew at home. So he's up early in the morning, and by the time I get home, he's already sleeping. So I spend a little bit of time with him early in the morning. Then I go to a restaurant, the Laguna Hills one, the one I run. I go there. By the time I get off, we close a little bit earlier than we do at Saab, the Fullerton restaurant. After that, I come up to Fullerton, spend an hour or two trying to help, or if they need anything, be there, just talk to the people. I enjoy that, meeting the brother, the partners. They're basically family, So spend some time with them. After that, we just go hang out, smoke hookah, or go eat, and that's about it.
When you say you run the restaurants or you help, what exactly does that entail?
Mint restaurant, I manage mostly.
Okay.
At Hansa, I'm just an extra body. Whatever they need me to do, I'm there. They need me to bus tables or bartend, or be behind the line, I'm there.
So what do you do with Mint?
I manage that. And then again, if they need help anywhere, I just go and help out.
Okay, so manage as far as you tell people what to do, you make sure you're
No.
staffed, what exactly? Elaborate.
We're not that kind of people, so we don't tell people what to do.
Well,
we think of ourselves as more of a leaders than a boss. So we help them. Help them with whatever they need, because they have the full authority to run the restaurant the way they want, and we're just there to help them.
so what would you say are your management skills that you use? More freelance, or you're more, because I've worked in different careers, and I've had managers that are super just liberal. They tell you, okay, these are your expectations, and they just kind of let them run with the idea. And I've had managers that micromanage everything, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So what kind of manager would you say you are?
Probably none of those. So I'm just there if they need something solved, but everything else is basically in their hands. The chef is basically the most authorized person to run the restaurant however he wants. Everybody has to listen to him when there's a conflict. That's when I come in and try to solve it with the chef, with his help. And we do everything as a whole big family. So, everything works out that way.
What's been the biggest issue you've come across?
Racism.
Really?
Racism, but not with our helpers or colleagues and stuff, but with customers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Don't take this the wrong way, but there's a lot of conflicts between different countries. So India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and our staff is from all over the world. We have Latinos, we have Americans, Bangladeshi, Nepalis, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. So, because to us, it doesn't mean anything. You know, we all work as a whole big family, as a one unit. You know, we have a lot of unity, but it's with the customers. Some people don't want to place their order with a certain race, or they don't want to come in because it's Indian or Pakistani. And I think that's the only or the biggest issue that we have to deal with. You know?
Wow. So you'd say that your staff is well versed
Yes.
um,
Rappers.
with different nationalities. So I mean that's pretty admirable. Only because like you've gone to companies where you mainly see a certain type of
I've been through that. My
of
first
workers,
Yeah.
and so having your restaurant run with the diversity,
job.
having that mix of different nationalities, that speaks very highly of you guys.
Yeah.
What is like? What's your favorite dish? What do you guys cook at these restaurants?
We're known for different things at both of the different restaurants. So at Mint and Laguna Hills, we're known for our karahi and biryani.
Never had that.
Yeah.
What is that?
So the karahi is a Pakistani dish, cooked in the Chinese wok, prepared with ginger, garlic, and fresh tomatoes. Simple, but it's an experience you go in before because we bring out the whole pot that we cook the food in,
Mm-hmm.
and we serve it in that to the customer.
Oh wow.
And at Hansa, we're known for a lot of different stuff because it's a new concept. The chef is very creative, our partner. He's very creative with how he presents the food. So everything you look at, it's a masterpiece. It's a different creation that you just want to look at and honestly not eat. I mean, it's delicious, but the presentation is so beautiful. You want to
Actually,
cherish it.
it's funny you say this because you're talking about food and your face is enlightened. Quite frankly, like you were so serious before, and then I was like, let's talk about food, and your face is lit up talking about that. I think it feels like that's your passion.
Oh, definitely.
Food and just the creativity that the chef probably brings to the table.
Yeah, it's admirable. I get to learn a lot from him. So I try to come up with new recipes with him, learn different techniques. So it's Disneyland for me.
What's your favorite dish?
I'm not picky with food. So as long as the food is prepared how it's supposed to be, I'm okay with it.
So you like to try anything?
Anything, yeah.
Any nationality? Any?
Definitely.
Good, because I know some people are very picky with food. So
No, I know.
you're not picky.
I'm not. My younger sister is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because she has certain items or certain food types that she only eats. She doesn't like to try new things.
Okay.
But I'm completely opposite. I'd rather try new things than eat the same thing over and over again.
Right. I'm with you on that. I like to try new things.
Yeah.
If they look appealing and appetizing and just delicious, I'll
Yeah.
try it. But there's some things like I've tried multiple times and I cannot try anymore.
Okay.
Have you ever had duck?
Yeah, definitely.
I've had duck at Chinese restaurants and I tried it a few times. I try to give it a shot and this is like I can't. I tried. It's not even chicken though. Like it doesn't even taste like.
Not chicken.
It's not chicken, but like people say it tastes like chicken. I'm like, no, this does not taste like chicken. It has more like a rubbery-ish texture to it, right?
Texture can be similar to chicken, but taste is completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming from somebody who works in a restaurant, so I know how, different things taste. So I can differentiate. So that's why. But yeah, I've had duck multiple times, and
Yeah, there's definitely not going to be any duck here, but
I can't say no to food.
you can't say no to food.
Never.
Is that a cultural thing? Now that you bring that up, is it a cultural thing? Because okay, let me say why I think it's a cultural thing. Because with us, as a Latina and Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
my family was very big on that. Like, don't say if somebody offers you food, you take it.
Okay.
because it's rude. First of all, it's rude to say no,
Uh-huh.
and you just eat it. And I was like, well, what if I don't like it? It's like you just eat it, move it around, pretend like you ate it. You know,
Mhm.
like because it's either you're insulting the other person, or and you know, like you just never say no to food.
Yeah.
And even sorry, and even like growing up, whatever your parents serve you, you have to finish it all, even though you're full
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and you can't eat no more. You have to finish whatever is on your plate because my mom always said, like, you know, there's many starving kids out there, and here you are throwing away food.
Yeah.
So is that something like?
It's definitely. I think our cultures are very similar. Same thing with food. I mean, you have tortillas, we have naan. You know, most of your dishes are eaten either with tortilla or rice, and it's the same with us. And we have the same kind of spices or, you know, way of cooking the food as well. So curries, you know, when you make your beef stew or lamb or, you know, chicken, it's similar to ours. So, but the culture is definitely the same because our parents did tell us not to say no to food ever. But for me, I don't say no because I'm always hungry. So that's the only reason for me. But yeah.
You're always hungry, like to try different things, or you're just in general always hungry? Is it because you don't eat like a full meal and you're just kind of nitpicking here and there throughout the day?
No. I have meals throughout the whole day and full-on meals.
Mm.
So at least 3-4 meals, and not tiny plates. So,
Yeah, it was just funny that you talk about that, like you never say no to food. It just brought back, you know, childhood memories. Now, if I'm not hungry, I stop, like if I'm full, I stop eating, you know, and I throw away whatever, as long as I'm not at my mother's house. Because there I just, whatever she serves me, and she serves big plates, is like, seriously, Mom, I'm over here telling you I'm trying to lose weight and I want to die, and you give me this big old bowl. But that's a different story. If you can tell yourself something, if you can tell yourself, let's go back 10 years
mhm.
and give yourself some advice from 10 years ago, what would that advice be?
That's a hard question. I guess try to learn as much as you can while you are young. I think that would be the best thing. You know, because you have a lot more time when you were younger, not as many responsibilities. So that's, I think, the perfect time to learn as many skills as you want, as many languages. That's the other thing I'm very interested in, learning languages. I speak 4 languages so far.
Really?
So,
What are those 4 languages?
I speak English, Pashto, Urdu, and then our own language from the mountains is called Kohistani.
Where do the
that's
other
4.
languages come from? Because I'm clueless, and excuse my ignorance, but where are the other what are those languages from? Like I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, so Pashto is mainly from Pakistan and Afghanistan. Urdu is the same as Hindi. So Urdu is from Pakistan and Hindi is from India.
Okay.
We grew up watching a lot of Indian movies, so and plus it's the same language pretty much, so we speak that. And Kohistani is actually my mom's language from Pakistan, from the mountains, so we speak that. The next languages I'm trying to learn are Spanish and Arabic. So those are the next 2 I'm trying to learn.
Spanish. What are you doing to learn Spanish?
Well, with our colleagues, I do try to speak Spanish in the restaurants, so but
They're
it's
teaching
not like, I've learned plenty, but it's not like I can have a full-on conversation outside of the restaurant. I know the terms that people use inside, so.
What can you tell us here? What
So,
do you know? I bet you know all the bad words.
not so much.
Because that's the first thing you learn in any culture. Like for me, instance, I know like a few bad words in different cultures, and that's just because of like, okay, teach me something, and they're like, oh, you gotta learn how to say this, and I'm like, okay, what is that? It's like, oh, like F your mother, and I'm like, I don't want to learn that. Like, teach me like say hi,
Yeah.
bye, like how are you?
No, I started learning English at the restaurant, so, and obviously nobody's gonna say, that kind of foul language in the restaurant, so that's why I've never been inclined to learn those. But I've learned like how to give me curry or give me a naan or that kind of stuff, Can you bring me this or can you make me that?
Okay, give us an example here.
So let me say like, dame una tortilla con ajo,
So awesome.
I hope that was right, but
It was. Give me a garlic tortilla.
garlic naan, yeah.
Oh, yeah, tortilla. You said tortilla, so tortilla is tortilla,
Yeah.
But, and you're in the food industry, in the restaurant industry. Is that the same career path that you want to pursue, or do you want to deviate to something else?
As of right now, that's the only thing I'm focusing on because we're all foodies. My whole family, my dad is a chef, my mom's a great cook, my sister, my brother, and myself, we all cook. So, and we get to learn a lot from just trying new things. If something comes up in the future, an opportunity to get into a different business, definitely we're going to get into that. Because, with us, we do everything as a family. So if they all agree to the new business, we're definitely going to do it.
Interesting. So, all these businesses that have been open, it's been as a family. As a
Yeah,
family.
definitely.
What's the most difficult thing for you guys to start a restaurant?
For us, it's finding a good help, a good set of staff. I think that's the hardest part in any industry. But if you can find a good, team, that's what I'm trying to say. A good team that's with you, anything's possible. And we have that. We have that at both restaurants, and with this, we're gonna go a lot further because we're not gonna stop at 2 restaurants. There are gonna be a lot more.
Wow. Do you guys want to open up a chain?
That's our goal. For Hansap, that's gonna be a chain. We're looking for a third location as of right now, so hopefully we'll find something soon.
You will. You guys definitely will.
Hopefully.
Opening up the restaurant, was there certain permits that you guys needed? Was there, what are those steps look like for somebody that wants to get into this industry and is basically going into it blindly, not knowing where to start off?
There are a lot of permits required from city health department, fire department. All of that you have to get before you can open. So all the permits you have to acquire before you can open up for business, to customers, or before you can actually do any construction. But that's what any kind of place. So.
And your family knew more or less what to do and where to look for certain things.
Yes. Like I said, my dad was in the restaurant for 15, 16 years when we opened the Mint restaurant. So he knew a lot of people, the managers at the prior restaurant or where we worked with the chef. He knows everything. Everything you can ask him, he knows how to do it, or who you need to call. So honestly, we're blessed to have such members in our life, but definitely have somebody if you guys need any help. I'm here. Call my brother. Call the chef, or come by and say hi. We're more than happy to help.
I'm glad that you mentioned that without me asking, because I do ask all my guests if they're okay with, if anybody's interested in pursuing this career as he has, if they can come and ask you for any help or any advice. Can I put your information, your Instagram information?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and they can reach out. With that being said, somebody that wants to pursue this career, I know with many businesses, especially in the food industry, within the first year, is this a loss financially?
Definitely.
Would you say that the revenue wise,
Mhm.
how much revenue does 2 restaurants or 1 restaurant bring? You don't have to give me like the whole ballpark, but you know, just so my audience can kind of have a little guess.
I mean, it depends on the restaurant, your concept. The revenue that's coming in from Hansab, it's going to be completely different than what we're earning from Mint, because they're 2 different concept. Mint is more like a family, you know, sit down, you know, you come in big groups. Hansab is more, I don't want to use the word fancy, but you know, more upscale. You go in, you know, when you want to go on a date or take your parents out to a nice place, or you know, for a special occasion.
Okay.
So they're going to be completely different, but to put both of them together, I would say it's going to be around 2 million per year
Okay.
from both restaurants.
From both restaurants.
Yeah.
Did you guys see when you first opened? Was it tough financially?
Oh, for sure. They said for a new restaurant, the failure rate is, you know, almost 90-something% the first 3 years.
Right.
So it's hard the first couple of years, and you just have to be ready for it. But if you have a good concept, a good team, everything's gonna work out.
And you just have to be determined and motivated and
Definitely.
don't give up,
Mhm.
for sure. If you can give my audience some last words of advice, what advice would that be?
Always learning things, and don't be afraid to put your hands in different things, different businesses, different aspects of life where there's opportunity to learn something new. Always be eager to learn, and I think that's it.
Well said. With that being said, guys, thank you for joining us here. Thank you for being here. I know that we were on a time crunch because he has to run to the restaurant,
Mhm.
and I know you left the other restaurant to come here, so I very do much appreciate it. I'll go ahead and put the restaurant's links on YouTube and as well as on the podcast for those that are interested. One is in Laguna Hills, the other one is in Fullerton, and the third one is pending, and he'll let you guys know when it launches.
Mhm.
I will be putting your Instagram on there for my guests to follow you if they have any questions and any advice. You know, you never know what can come of this. Thank you so much for listening. You're in the food industry. This is your guy and his family. They're experts in all that field, in that whole field.
Mhm.
And thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. And with that, guys, cheers. We're going to cheers this last time. Salud.
Salud.
Salud.